which will include 45 questions, which will include simple MCQs, complex assertion reasoning, and of course 10% case-based questions and 25% choice in different sections. So this is for languages. We have 10, that is 10 questions, 10 plus 8, 18 total questions, but 14 to be attempted. And out of 12, 10 to be attempted, and 30 questions, but 26 to be attempted. So total questions in languages is 60, whereas 15 questions to be attempted. So this is something which each one of us is worried about, how the CBSE is going to mark these when there are not 40 questions, but somewhere it's 45, somewhere it's 50, and somewhere it's even 60. So this is what that has been proposed. For 40 marks paper, 50 questions to be attempted. Marks per question allotted will be 0.80. For 35 marks, questions to be attempted 50. In that case, marks per question will be 0.70. Whereas 40 marks paper, questions to be attempted 45, and the marks per question will be 0.88. Earlier, when it would be 16.5, CBSE would round it off to 17. Whereas now the case is, even if it's the 16.1, it will be rounded off to the next number, which is 17. So this is something which has been proposed. So that means we have various types of questions: assertion and reason, fill in the blanks, matching question, multiple choice, case-based question, and true and false. So here we come to, this is the special assessment scheme. This is available on CBSE website. It clearly talks about assessing our students on various competencies. Our students are not ready for it. We are not ready for it. It's very important that as a teacher, you tell them what are the competencies that you are going to assess them. And for that, it's very important to write a good learning outcome. So what does a learning outcome do? A learning outcome states clear expectations and is written from the perspective of a student and not from the perspective of a teacher, right? It has a clear answer to the question. It does not say, my students should be able to appreciate, or my students have understood the concepts well, or to understand the difference between black and white. I'm just an example. So that means when we say understand, when we say appreciate, what we are doing is those learning outcomes are not measurable and observable. They are vague. They do not measure how much a student has learned and on what you are supposed to assess your student. So when you are now teaching your students, remember to write your learning outcome in advance so that you are able to assess them on those parameters, right? So learning outcomes are free of ambiguous words and phrases and can be achieved within the time frame. So do not use vague words, but use only one verb per learning outcome. Now, this is altogether a different webinar, but still I wanted to cover this in brief to ensure that each one of you is aware that why we have term 1 and term 2 over here. The learning outcomes should be capable of being assessed. That is how the rubrics will be formed. So these are the verbs that you need to use when you are writing your learning outcomes. There should not be too many learning outcomes. Do not go beyond and write 10, 15 learning outcomes. Do not go beyond 6 learning outcomes. Minimum 3 learning outcomes and maximum 6 learning outcomes. Knowledge. If you are assessing your students for knowledge, then you should use the words define, list, state, identify, name. If you are testing your student for comprehension, your student should be able to explain, predict, interpret. If you are talking about application, the student should be able to modify, demonstrate. If I want them to tell me about how many people have been vaccinated, they should know that I'm going to ask ask them to draw a bar diagram. They should know I will ask them to make a pie chart of number of people who have been vaccinated in the age group of 18 to 45. So if I tell them in advance that this is the learning outcome, they will know that that is how I have to study. It's same as GPS. Before the meeting there was a break in the meeting, I was talking about GPS, that is how the student will know that what is the destination that he or she has to reach. The student should be able to justify, evaluate, and judge. The student should be able to design and develop. So use these verbs when you are talking about learning outcome. So just another example of learning outcome. Talk about the context, the topic. So it's a class 10. You are talking about sectors of Indian economy. Then you talk about the subtopic, that how the sectors will be divided. And then you use the verbs create, define, evaluate, comprehend, apply, and analyze. So your verbs should be pertaining to your subtopic, and you start with the context. This is another writing output example from a chapter in class 10, globalization, that you should be able to list various factors contributing to globalization. You should analyze the impact of globalization. You should contrast the production within different countries, demonstrate the concepts which are related to the topic, evaluate the production of MNCs, and in the end, create a bar diagram. So these are the 6 learning outcomes based on Bloom's taxonomy, which are assessing the student on the various competencies. So this is also another example from science, that remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So like we said, that when we are talking about term 1 and term 2, when we are talking about special assessment scheme, we are talking about competency-based education, which is based on learning outcomes. So we cannot expect that every child will climb the tree in the same fashion, but they will differ. So when we are talking about competency, we are talking about personalized learning. We are not talking about differentiated or individualized learning. Or a personalized learning means that every child will have the ability, should be able to learn the concepts at their own pace rather than in a definite format. This is the objective of National Education Policy. So when you are framing assessments, what should you do? When you're framing assessments, ask these questions, क्योंकि आपको अभी rubrics भी बनाने हैं. As a teacher, it's very important that to make the rubrics for assessment. How do I communicate to students that I value their questions? How will I ensure that students have sufficient time and space to formulate questions? So if you're talking about role play, you should give them enough time to prepare for that project. How can I support my students by student questioning and move towards allowing them to express in the way they want to? So these are the benefits of learning outcomes. You are able to design your syllabus, your annual pedagogical plan in a better fashion. You have better assessment. You can manage your time in a better way. There will be improved communication and an improved teaching experience. So these are certain strategies to ensure that you are able to assess your students and make rubrics also at the same time. First of all, you should go to the NCERT website and take out all the learning outcomes. They may not be available for class 11th and 12th. They are available for class 11th, but not for 12th. So make sure that you make your own learning outcomes as per the Bloom's taxonomy provided. Podcasting is a very interesting strategy for competency-based education and to ensuring that your students are prepared for as per the CBSE, the scheme, assessment scheme, new assessment scheme. Art integration, then there are various other strategies that you can go for. Crossover learning, that is through the real life experiences. This is also an interesting way of formative assessment. Then collaborative argumentation, that you are discussing a mathematics problem and finding out which solutions are correct and which solutions are wrong. Then there is context-based learning, where you refer to the use of real life and fictitious examples in teaching environments. So some more strategies. Flipped learning is very interesting. You need to choose a topic which you can flip. That is, instead of you teaching, your students come prepared with the chapter and then they teach in the class and they ask questions. But as a teacher, you should know that on what things that you will be assessing them. You'll be assessing them for presentation. You'll be assessing them for communication. You will be assessing them for content, innovation. So this is something which as a mentor, you should be aware of. So I just wanted to share a small video because instead of all the educators saying that this is very different from what would happen in the earlier times. It is not a 100% assessment system. This is a formative assessment. We are assessing the student at 2 levels. And let me tell you, this is not only because of the pandemic. There are many more changes which are going to come. Unless and until you convert this problem into an opportunity and start collaborating and learning together, nothing will change. But because of the implementation of the National Education Policy, the change is unavoidable. So treat this as an opportunity of learning and learn as much as you can about the various ways of teaching and competency-based education. So just a small video for each one of you.
Hey.
Some problems are just too big and too complex for any one person to handle alone. For these challenges, we need to collaborate. But what does that mean? Collaboration is more than just working together with others. To really work together effectively, especially when resources are tight, we need to invest in good collaboration. Good collaboration means sharing the responsibilities, risks, benefits, and the credit. Good collaboration also means that everyone who is involved works toward a common goal. To do that, we need to know our limitations. Leave our ego at the door. Keep an open mind. Be physically and mentally present. Ensure everyone has an equal voice. Invest trust to get trust. Step out of our comfort zone. Value each other's contributions. There are many benefits of a good collaboration, such as engaged and empowered members, increased capacity to solve complex problems, strong relationships grounded in trust, honesty, and respect, efficient use of resources, and a greater overall impact. Remember, we are stronger when we work together. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much.
Right. So alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. That is what we have to keep in mind when we are talking about learning together. So special assessment scheme is just the start, but there are many more changes which are expected. So this is the classroom atmosphere that you all should have. Your students are equal participants, parents are equal participants, the society is equal participant, and good collaboration means that we all can do so much when we are together. Yes, you can ask your questions in the chat box, and then of course, if there are no questions, then we can wind up.
Good evening, Aishwarya ma'am. This is Rachna. Thank you very much for your session. We got a clarity, but I have one concern regarding CBSE board, ma'am, which they states that they are going to give us 60 questions, out of which the child has to answer 40 or 50, depending what the range and the circular you have shared it to us.
Right.
Ma'am, we have also heard it. I mean, I have attended a meeting where they said they will give us 60 questions. First 20 should be answered, or any first 20 answered by the child will be evaluated. Can you just explain those lines, ma'am?
Well, I'm yet to receive any notification on that. But
Okay.
First 20 to be answered, it's not 60 for all the papers. It differs from subject to subject. It is for languages, it is 60, whereas for other subjects, somewhere it's 50, some it's 45. So it is different for every subject. And as long as marking is concerned, which I already showed it to you, if there are 50 questions to be attempted, then it will be accordingly, the marks will be reduced to 0.80. So, and I don't think so it will be first 20. It is depending upon the section A, B, and C. There will be 3 sections, that is for sure.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya ma'am. Thank you.
That is for sure that there will be 3 sections, and there will be separate choices in all the 3 sections. Like I said, there will be 20% choice in every section. Hanji. Yes, Vanita. Vanita has raised her hand.
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you raised your hand. You have a question.
Yes, ma'am. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम लोग लैंग्वेज हिंदी लैंग्वेज के टीचर हैं और 60 क्वेश्चन आप कह रहे हो कि पूछे जाएंगे 90 मिनट में। तो एक क्वेश्चन को बच्चा जब 4 क्वेश्चन उसका ऑप्शन पढ़ता है तो 1 मिनट भी नहीं है, 1.5 मिनट अगर एक क्वेश्चन को लगाता है तो बच्चा कब सोचेगा, कब देखेगा? तो बच्चे को लिए तो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आएगी, वीक स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। अच्छे बच्चे तो जल्दी जल्दी कर लेते, नहीं आएगी?
नहीं आएगी, बिल्कुल भी नहीं आएगी, ना वीक के लिए। और प्रॉब्लम कहाँ आएगी? जब हम बच्चे को ये नहीं बताएंगे कि उसको हम किस कॉम्पिटेंसी पे, किस स्किल के लिए जज कर रहे हैं। क्योंकि बच्चा क्यों परेशान है? क्योंकि हमने उसे ये नहीं बताया कि हम उसे ये बता रहे हैं कि आपको MCQ आएंगे। हम उसे ये नहीं बता रहे हैं कि वो जो MCQ है वो उसकी कॉम्पिटेंसी पे बेस्ड है। तो उसके जो शुरू के 20 MCQs हैं, जैसे रचना मैम कह रही थी, जो उसके शुरू के 20 MCQs हैं वो बहुत ही सिंपल MCQ है, तो अकॉर्डिंगली टाइम उसमें एडजस्टेड है। तो अगर हम बच्चे को इस तरीके से प्रिपेयर करेंगे सेक्शन A, B और C के हिसाब से, तो बच्चे को 90 मिनट्स में पेपर पूरा करने में बिल्कुल भी दिक्कत नहीं आएगी। आप उसको 1.5 मिनट और 1 मिनट के हिसाब से नहीं देखिए। दैट इज व्हाई इट इज पर्सनलाइज्ड लर्निंग। उस बच्चे के हिसाब से देखिए कि वो कैसे उसको जब पता है कि मुझे ये वाले क्वेश्चंस आधे मिनट में करने हैं, तो वो पहले के 20 क्वेश्चन वो आधे मिनट में कर ले।
ठीक है ठीक है मैम,
हो जाएगा मैम, no, not to worry. It's a change in the pattern and we just have to adapt. The sooner we
Okay.
adapt, things will become much more simpler for our children.
ओके, देखते हो अच्छा करेंगे बच्चे।
I'm sure, ma'am. Let us be hopeful. Collaboration.
ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aishwarya ma'am. I think we are running out of time, so
Yes,
we'll
sir.
call it a day. So anyone who wants to see this, I'll be putting on YouTube again. So in case you want to listen, you missed some parts, we'll be putting there. And in case you have some questions still, probably you can put on chat, and then we'll see later how it can be addressed. But the video is quite self-explanatory. I think ma'am has covered a plethora of activities, and the whole notification was discussed. So I think, thank you, ma'am, Aishwarya ma'am, for conducting this
so much,
session,
sir.
and thank you participants for joining in. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
So can you please send us the
बहुत अच्छा
YouTube
मैम आपने समझा दिया।
YouTube
Yeah,
channel?
YouTube
Thank you,
link
sir.
is
Thank
posted
you,
in the WhatsApp group. I've already posted, right? So you will be able to see that. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.